Of course, people often ask me, hey, Bobby Champagne, what is the secret to being an incredible celebrity interviewer like you yourself are? And I always say there is no secret, but all you need to do is have a sense of humour. Turn up to any interview with a mental backpack full of high quality jokes and a willingness to deploy them, even when it would seem to the outside observer, the layman, that it's an inappropriate usage of joking. You won't go far wrong. I remember one time I was interviewing the crazy Canadian, Nelly Furtado. It was quite an in-depth, serious and penetrating interview. So I was really delving deep and asking her some important questions like, what's your make-out tune of choice? Actually, I can't remember to this day, funny story, what she answered, because while she was giving me her answer, I was already basking in the future afterglow of the joke I was about to drop on her, apparently spontaneously. Because the moment she finished speaking, quick as a flash, I got in there and said, oh, really? Mine's 1 Minute Man by Nelly Furtado. I sat back and anticipated the acclaim. There was an awkward second while Nelly processed the joke. Then she started cackling at high volume and velocity, and a split second after Nelly started laughing, the entire of her crew, the glam squad, the record company people, they just fell about laughing. It was a reasonably good joke, but I was surprised at the extent of the appreciation. So basically, if you want to be a great interviewer, jokes always work. Always. Except in the case of the queen of hip-hop soul, Mary J Blige. It was way back in 2003 when I went to interview Mary J in the Sanderson Hotel, a lavishly decorated suite. An incredible finger buffet. Fruit, sure. Chocolates, yes. Dry roasted nuts, no. Cashew nuts, of course. But I digress. They set me up for the interview very, very close to Mary J. I think there was less than 1.5 foot nose to nose between me and the Queen. Could be quite intimidating, but I took it in my stride, certainly. As I recall, the interview wasn't a barrel of laughs. I think that's acceptable though, because Mary J has famously had quite a traumatic life, quite a debilitating series of love affairs, and she was on the come up again after some, unfortunate circumstances. But I'm not complaining. It was a good interview. At the end, though, I just had to ask her to do a few promo lines and lines for competitions. It was the good old days of music TV, where you could basically rob feeble-minded children by writing these fake interview questions, fake competition questions, multiple choice, which was so obvious that you felt you could win just by calling up. The catch, of course, being that each call cost £1 million. One of the lines I had to get Mary J to say was, "Call now if you know the answer." There was silence. Mary looked at me and said, "Cool? Cool now?" And I went, "Call now." "Cool now?" I suddenly twigged that she couldn't understand my London accent. I said, "Oh no, call, as in a phone call." She went, "Oh, call." And I went, "Was I getting a bit Dick Van Dyke for you there?" There was a sort of flicker of a half smile when I said this. Emboldened by what I perceived as a positive reaction to my sense of humour, I said, "In fact, Mary, you're lucky I'm not calling you Mary J Poppins." There was no reaction from Mary. There was no reaction from anyone in the room. It was the loudest silence I have ever experienced. After what seemed like about 10 minutes of deafening indifference from the literally hundreds of people in the room, I heard from what seemed like 2 miles away a pity laugh from one of the cameramen. It was quite awful. still, great days. I miss those days.